What up, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos, put them on the internet. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I did. I'm from Southern California, or I live in Southern California now, but I'm from Northern California. That's where I grew up in the Bay Area, and I decided to drive, and it was probably the worst decision I ever made. It took us 10 hours to drive up to the Bay Area, and it took us 9 hours to drive back. And I thought that by leaving on Thanksgiving Day, there would be less people on the road. It wouldn't be too bad getting out of LA. But then snow hit the grapevine that closed down the 5 for a little bit. So I had to drive all the way to the 101 on the coast and take that up. And there was bumper to bumper traffic for a good portion of that time. Anyways, it wasn't the best time. I've had better times driving. I got to basically barrel through 3 different podcasts. So that was okay, and I usually don't even mind driving, but I don't love driving for 10 hours or 9 hours, especially in traffic. If you're driving without traffic, 9 hours, 10 hours is not that bad. You just load up the podcast and you put some stuff in your brain. This was not that. This was terrible. I didn't mean to rant. I know that there are better things to talk about in this video, and I'm going to talk about it right now. But first, I think I needed to give a disclaimer. I don't know. I'm just going to do it just to be safe. Activision invited me out to, Infinity Ward invited me out to, let me try that again. Activision invited me out to Infinity Ward Studios in Santa Monica to play some of the new content that's upcoming for Season 1. To capture it a little bit early. We were there last week. Can't remember which day it was. I didn't stay at any fancy hotel or anything like that, but they provided me transportation to get there. A car came and picked me up and drove me over there, and they gave us lunch. So if you're concerned about any conflicts of interest or something like that, that is the extent of what I got out of this. I got to capture the game for a little bit. I got a free ride there, and I got some pizza for lunch. Wasn't bad pizza either. It was pretty okay. But I wasn't paid for this or anything like that. And if I was paid, I would make that explicitly clear. There seems to be some confusion by some people in the comments sometimes. If I'm ever paid for anything, you guys will know very clearly that I got paid to talk about something, to showcase some game or whatever. This is not that. Okay, so Season 1 is dropping for Modern Warfare, I believe, on December 3rd, which is tomorrow. And in it, we're going to get 2 new 2v2 maps. At least at the front. I don't know if there's more 2v2 maps coming later. One of them is called Atrium. One of them is called Cargo. I'm not going to show you guys footage from those because I'm not a big 2v2 person. But as far as 2v2 maps go, Atrium was super pretty and Cargo played really well. I actually don't hate 2v2. I think it's a lot of fun. I just have more fun playing competitive S&D, 3v3, 4v4, whatever. And so that's how I choose to spend my time. But if you guys are into 2v2, and I know a lot of you guys are, I get a ton of you guys requesting that I play it more on stream, or if I make some video of it or something like that, I think you guys are going to dig those maps. Cargo, in particular, is a nice little throwback because it takes place in the underground, or not underground, in the bottom level cargo bay of the Wetwork map from Call of Duty 4. They data mined the PC version of this game, some gumshoes on Reddit, and they found that some version of Wetwork was going to be coming back, and I think this is probably it. I don't know if the full map is coming back. I really have no idea. They had another, they added a Ground War map. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I never played Ground War, and my car had to pick me up about 20 minutes before they started playing on the map, and I had to move all the files over to the thumb drive or whatever, so I didn't get a chance to play it. If you guys are looking for footage of that particular map, if you guys are Ground War players, you can find it very easily if you just do a cursory search on YouTube or Google, whatever. What I'm here to talk to you guys mostly about today is the return of Crash. This is, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that probably just started playing Call of Duty in the last few years, so maybe you don't understand just how iconic this map is, but Crash is without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the best and most iconic maps in the entire series. It plays well for lots of different game types, TDM, DOM, Search and Destroy, all top notch. They changed the map just a little bit to the right of my character, now behind him. Where he's looking in that direction right there on the screen, they opened up that area in the back, so they gave you just a little bit more to work with back there. There's kind of a nasty little head glitch that you can jump up to when you go back there. So this map is pretty one-sided in a map type or in a game type like Domination. If you spawn on the side that I'm on right now, that usually gives you a little bit of an advantage. So I'm assuming that they opened up that back portion on the other side of the map just to sort of level it out just a little bit. But this map plays very, very well for search and destroy, and I'm about to show you guys a really good round that I had to kick off the play session when we finally started playing search in this game. You know, before we even get into the search part of this, I completely forgot to mention that I was playing with 2 of the new guns that they're releasing in the Season 1 of Modern Warfare. The first one that I was playing with was an LMG called the Holger 26, I believe is what it's called, and it was not that impressive to me. It felt very weak, and I don't think I'll be using it very much. LMGs typically don't shine in Call of Duty, especially in competitive settings, because they're generally not allowed. That being said, the LMGs in Modern Warfare are actually not terrible in public matches. If you run around with a PKM, you will shred people with that gun, and the Holger is not the PKM. It felt a little weak to me. I mean, that was only after 1 game of playing, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of I've been playing Call of Duty so long, and I've been playing Modern Warfare for long enough now to understand what gun feels good, what gun doesn't feel good. And I feel like I can usually tell within 30 seconds, within just a few gunfights, of whether or not a gun's going to be worth it to use. And that gun didn't feel like it to me. The second gun that I was using is called the Ram 7. It's an assault rifle, but it sort of acts like an SMG. It's got a really high rate of fire, moderate recoil, and it didn't feel too bad. It didn't feel as strong as a gun like the AK or the M4, but it still felt okay. And I think I'll have to tinker with the attachments on that one a little bit more. That's a gun that I probably will use from time to time just to kind of check it out and see if it's worth using. This is a fun little clutch that I got, by the way. I mean, I was playing with some incredible players. I was not familiar with a lot of the people that I was playing with, but there was somebody in our lobby called Crazy Korean Kid who was cracked out of his mind. We'll just say that. And he did some pretty incredible things. And it sucked being on the receiving end of his wrath when we were playing in this play session. He's a good player. Okay, so the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys today about is the decision that the developers have made recently and in this game to bring back old classic maps. I don't always have my finger on the pulse of the community. I'm just going to cop to that right now. A lot of the times when a new COD comes out, I keep my head down. I don't really pay attention to what other creators are saying. Partly because I'm just so busy playing the game and streaming and making videos and stuff like that. And also partly because I want my opinion of the game to be something that is like naturally forming. So sometimes if you read the opinion of somebody else, then it can affect how you yourself see the game or opine about something. And I try to avoid that when I can. So for example, the other day I tweeted that I didn't notice skill-based matchmaking in the same way that I had seen so many other people notice it. My kill death in this game seems to be pretty much in line with my kill death in previous titles, and I don't feel too sweaty. Maybe a little bit sweatier than a game like COD 4, where to my knowledge there wasn't any skill-based matchmaking in that game. It felt like it wasn't too difficult to find lobbies where you could just run a train on everybody in the lobby, and it just wasn't that difficult. That doesn't appear to be the case with this game, and in fact I had probably like 100 of you guys let me know in the replies how wrong I was, and I think I described it in the initial tweet, but I'm open to being wrong, and here's an opinion that I'm going to give to you, and I want you guys to throw back your opinion to me or give me your reaction to this opinion. If a Call of Duty map is classic and iconic and it really, really works, even in a Call of Duty that was released 12 years ago, 13 years ago, whatever, I want to see that map come back not once or twice, but I want to see it continually come back. So if they make a Modern Warfare 2 in 2021 or whenever the next Infinity War title is coming out, I want to see Crash come back again. If they make it Modern Warfare 3 in 2023 or 2024, I want to see Crash come back. The list of maps that I consider to be truly iconic in the Infinity Ward Call of Duty series is pretty low, I would say. I'm going to say between 10 to 15 maps are what I would consider to be iconic. And I want to see these maps come back year after year after year after year. And COD after COD after COD. I don't want to see it just come back for one Call of Duty. And my logic goes that, take for example Counter-Strike. They've been playing the same maps or variations of the same maps for over 20 years. And there are still millions of people that are playing and watching that game. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to these Call of Duties. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons that Call of Duty sometimes gets itself into trouble, is because it's got this yearly cycle that it has to meet. These devs have to make a new Call of Duty every single year, and me personally, I wouldn't hate it if Call of Duty stuck around for 2 or 3 years in a life cycle instead of 1 per year, and they brought back some classic guns, some classic maps. A little innovation obviously can be a very good thing. Too much innovation can sometimes hamper the series. We've seen a lot of pushback against some of the advanced movement that was introduced with Advanced Warfare, and since then we've seen sort of a return to boots on the ground. But I would love to see some of these really classic maps continuously come back year after year after year. And I have no idea if I'm alone in that. A lot of people think that that's lazy development. I totally disagree, and I want to ask you guys what your opinion is. If you guys want to see classic maps come back, not once or twice, but continuously, or if you want just brand new maps every single time, help me get my finger on the pulse of this community so I don't tweet something that angers hundreds of people off like I did the other day. So that's what I'm asking of you guys, to help me so I can help you in some form or fashion. And I want to say thank you guys again to everybody who's been tuning into the streams. Every single day I stream, actually not every single day, I stream Sunday through Friday. I usually start around 1 p.m. and I go until about 7 or 8 p.m. Today I'm going to be playing game battles with Nadeshot, Dr. Disrespect, and Pomage. Hector and Mike are traveling, so they're not going to be around. Same with Scump. He's been playing with us recently. And if you guys are interested in, if you guys are into, alcohol consuming and S&D with pals, then I think you guys are going to dig this stream. It's twitch.tv/Hutch. There's been a ton of support on the stream since the launch of this game. It feels like a renaissance of sorts, and I've just been having such a good time, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do for a living unless I had the kind of support that I had from you guys. And I truthfully think, and everybody, probably every streamer says this, but I truthfully think that I have one of the best communities on Twitch. I have one of the best chats on Twitch. It's just a really good time. So thank you guys for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you later.